Hey, can you hear me? I cannot see you because I've got.
Hi,
Hi, babe. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Perfect.
Yeah,
So, yeah, at 11:45, I'll have you mute so that we can
yep.
put it on, um, get a clean audio.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm so excited. I don't care who's here.
I think there was a couple people that said they would from the Facebook thing.
Yeah, but I don't know if they had the link.
Yeah, it's on here. It's on the Facebook.
Oh,
The one you sent out?
in the Shine Challenge, I put the link in, but I did not put it on the general Facebook page, I don't think.
No, but the one you sent out via Messenger has it.
Oh, yeah, that was
That's
Joy.
where I saw Taryn and I forgot who else said they would jump on.
Excellent.
Hmm?
This full moon, blue moon, super moon, eclipse energy is wild.
Yeah, well, it's doing weird things to my kid, so I
Well,
don't know if I like it.
I just read something I'm going to send you about the sensitive people having a really hard time. They can't be around certain people, certain voices, certain sounds. It's increasing anxiety, which of course, Kirsten's part of that too. So she's been MIA again,
Yeah.
She said, I had to work every day last week, which is putting myself out there every day. And then she'd get home and she didn't want to talk to people. She didn't want to call them. She didn't want to text them. She just wanted to crawl in a hole.
Wow.
So even for her 21st birthday. So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, Isa called me from school. It's like I'm finding out. So today she called. She's angry. She doesn't want to go to orchestra because today was supposed to be her audition to go into symphonic. And of course, she didn't prepare, even though I kept reminding her, but she just didn't. And so she goes in and she ends up at the nurse's. Well, she when I drove her in, I don't feel good. Well, honey, you gotta go.
Yeah. How much of that is your stress and how much of it is really your physical? I mean, which I guess our physical is being informed by that, but
right.
Wow. And that thing I don't know if you read that article about our people. I was blown away. And how do we get them if they're resistant to some of those mindfulness practices? How do we?
She hates it. She hates it. I'm not you. Oh.
Yeah. And because of that. So, okay, it is 11:43. I think if I how can I block the dining room window so that it's not crossing the. No, that makes it worse.
Nope, worse. The other way. I think that's better. So all I want to do is eat because I'm stressing.
Oh, I have to share with you the most amazing things that I bought. And of course, I don't think you're supposed to eat a bag at a time.
Okay.
But they're gluten-free and sugar-free and addicting.
What are they?
They're called Whole Me. WHOLEME. So of course it's by two women who wanted to create something that was tasty and healthy, but dang, they're too good. Problem. And they have blueberry chia. They have an almond one, what's made with almond butter. They have a peanut butter chocolate.
Oh. And what are they? Crackers or cookies? What are they?
I'll have to show you later because we're getting ready to start. It's 11:45. But they're like little tiny brownie bites. They're about that big.
Nummy.
And probably if I can stretch it, I can make it into 4 bites. So.
I gotta put this in the mail. Oh, I got to come by. I got to pick up my check, kid.
I know. I'm here the rest of the day.
All right, I'll do that.
I was down in Webster this morning, and then I was at Coffee with Jessica Phillips in Rock Hill.
And Marty's going over, you said?
That might be my new favorite Starbucks at Rock Hill.
Really? Rock Hill one?
Yeah.
Lots of men there, or what? Why?
No, it just was convenient, and on the way back up home, and right at the corner of Manchester and Rock Hill.
Nice.
Okay, it is 11:45. I know. Put me on speaker view.
I'm going to put on mute.
Awesome. So how do I get me to be, if I'm the speaker? Oh, now you're gone.
Is that okay? Did you want me to do that?
That's fine. I
didn't know if that helps.
I don't know how to get me back full screen. That's bizarre. Gallery views, speaker view. All right, well. So I don't know how far to get going if people are going to join in late. I don't want to start a grounding. But how about if I'm going to go ahead and start with an introduction to Shine. And can you hear me? Because it looks like there's a microphone. You can. Okay, good. Thank you. Show large. I don't know how I can't get me bigger. That is bizarre.
Go up to gallery view, and on the side of gallery view, you see the 4 arrows pointing out. Do that.
Yep. I'm on full screen, but I'm not full screen. I'm only on, that's weird.
Are you sure you're out of gallery view?
Yep, I'm on speaker view.
Huh.
Okay, so I'm not getting any bigger. That's very weird. It looks like I'm doing gallery view is what it looks like. I can't get to the full screen of me. All right, I'm just going to leave it like that. Stop playing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I want to, first of all, introduce myself. My name is Deborah LeeAnn, and I am a speaker, a trainer, and a paradigm shifter, all around what it means to be a conscious and feminine leader in today's changing world. Where we're going to go today is really just a kickoff to the month of self-love. And this February very often is thought of as a romantic month and Valentine's Day, and that you need to have a partner and you hope to receive roses and chocolate, and maybe a romantic dinner, all of those things that we tend to think about with Valentine's Day. And we're going to put that aside for right now and focus on how can we love this number one relationship first and foremost. Because at the root of all love relationships is this. And many times, women are not taught to take care of themselves first. So we focus outward. We're being and doing, and even what we have in our life is all dictated by the relationships we have with others. We tend to play roles based on how we're expected to act or be for our families, our friends, our colleagues, and our loved ones. And when we do that, a part of us is lost because we tend to focus so outward, we forget about this body, this divine spirit that we are. And every time we do that, we are emptying our spirit. We start running on empty. And that's when physical stuff starts happening or emotional things start happening. So we're going to just look at, so what are some tips and tricks and practices that support you and me in self-love? And it's not just self-care, even though that's a part of it. Self-love is a whole nother ballgame. So to get started, I'm going to just go into a little bit of an overview of what I mean by shine, because that was the title of this class. It's Shining with Self-Love. And what I'd like to do that is to kind of bring up, no, not kind of, I'm going to bring up a page that shows you what this looks like. And where are we? Hold on one sec. I am going to exit full screen so I can find it. Here we go. So this is what I mean by shine. And it's actually an acronym. And the S of shine is all about shining with your strengths, your brilliance, what makes you uniquely you. And that takes a lot of self-awareness. Not many of us are really clued in as to where we're super talented, what our gifts are. And even if we do kind of know, we don't know how to talk about it because that feels like we're bragging or that we're tooting our own horn. And very often that is what keeps us stuck. That is what keeps us from being viewed and respected and promoted and given that extra bump or bonus in our salaries. If we're not valuing this, then it's really hard for others to value us. So self-awareness, knowing your strengths, and really getting clued into where you're getting in your own way, which I call shadows. And you need to know these things because they're old programs that are running behind the scenes. So no matter how much you're so smart in an area or super talented in an area, if you are not aware of what is holding you back, it's really difficult for others to see that gift that you're trying to share with the world. So that's the S. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that because I have a whole class around shining with your strengths that I'll be offering in the next week or so. The H stands for health. And by that, I mean every part of you, your mind, your body, your heart, your soul. How are your relationships? What is your physical health like? How are your intellectual health? And taking good care of yourself spiritually. All of those are needed. That energy is needed for us to propel and sustain our energy systems and to create the change we want to have and see. The I stands for integrity, and it's your inner landscape and your intuition as well. But what I'm talking about with integrity is in a place of wholeness, coming from a place of really understanding where I'm leaking energy, where am I giving away my power, and where am I where am I broken, and where I'm not shining forth with my truth, my essence, because I'm covering something up, or I'm withholding information, or I'm withholding love, or I'm giving somebody more than I want to at that moment, which makes me resentful. Each of those places is where we are out of integrity. It's not just where we don't pay our bills on time, which is another financial integrity, which works against our own trust in ourselves, as well as others' trust in us. But there's a lot of other forms of integrity, following through on what you say you're going to do so that your friends and family and colleagues can trust you. And we'll get into a little bit more around that because that is part of what's needed for you to shine with your passion and purpose. The N is the art of saying no. And by that, I mean, you know what I mean. It's the saying no to at least 5 times to every time we say yes. It's saying no to that extra cookie. It's saying no to that super large, venti, something kind of coffee that's got all kinds of sugar in it that you don't need. It's saying no to those extra meetings just because somebody asked us to go to them if we know we're going to be tapped out at that time of the day. It's saying no to the extra thing that we want to do before we go to bed at nighttime. Because that we know that's going to get in the way of us getting into a restful place so we can get a good night's sleep. So the art of saying no, and no to the old limits and patterns of what used to run us, what has run us up until this point. We talked about some of those being your shadows. And yes to what's next, what's coming through. The E stands for equanimity. And let me explain a little bit about that. Equanimity has to do with being the eye of the storm. And especially right now in this powerful, energetic stuff going on with the full moon tomorrow, the lunar eclipse, the fact that it's a supermoon, it's the third in a row, it's the end of a triad of these supermoons where the moon is so much closer to the earth. And it's a blue moon. It's the second full moon for this month. Each of those makes this a powerful, powerful, energetic, I don't even know what to call it, kind of a vortex, but it's really what's happening is it feels very chaotic to our system. And if we're not giving ourselves a lot of self-care, we can be swept into that chaos, which is the exact opposite of equanimity. Because equanimity is standing in our power, our energy, our fullness in a beautiful way of this eye at the center of the storm. It is the calm in the middle of the chaos, right? It's the lighthouse that's beaming the light out to help others who are floundering in the chaos of the sea. The other E I'm going to put in here is around environment. And by that I mean, who do you surround yourself with? What do you surround yourself with? What energy is your home, your office, your bedroom like, where you spend a lot of time? Who are the people that bring out the best in you? If you're finding yourself being with people who are not bringing out the best in you, that make you feel bad about yourself, why are you doing that? It's kind of like stepping into something where somebody's going to beat up on you. So we're going to talk about starting to become aware of all of these things and getting back into who we are, right? And I want to just show you how important it is for us to tune in and to turn on our light, and then to have that light so bright that it shines out from us, because that creates that space around us. If you take your arms and you put them out to your sides, this is all of our space. Up, down, through the ground, in front of us, behind us, and to the sides. This is our energetic space. Very often, if you're like me, I'm empathic, which is a good thing when it's a good thing. And it can also be a very offensive thing, because what we do very often is we jump into other people's space and manage their energy, which isn't our job. And it's exhausting for us as well, which is probably why a lot of empaths are introverts. And they find that after being around people all day, they're exhausted because they've been out there outside of themselves trying to be in everybody else's place to make their lives better. So what if we pulled all of that energy in and operated with it here? It's like taking your cell phone and instead of running 85 apps, I don't know how many you have on your phone, but sometimes I'll go to close all of mine and I'll have 55 running at the same time, which drains your battery. You need to be as clean and clear as possible, especially during all of this changing craziness of this, not only this full super eclipse moon, but it's also it's not going to slow down much as we continue on this ever-changing environment right now. We need everybody to be at our highest and best, right? Because we need leaders to step forward. So let's take a moment now and go in and let me see if I can help you to tap into what that light and that space is within you. And what I advise you to do is to close your eyes. If you're seated, I would suggest you sit straight and in the back of your chair. So you can actually feel the back of your chair supporting you. You can feel the seat of your chair supporting you. If you can put your feet flat on the floor, ideally without shoes, that's even better. And we want to let your feet melt into the ground so that they're absolutely feeling like they're glued and held by very strong magnets, which we are, by the way, being pulled with gravity down into Mother Earth. We're going to take some deep breaths in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And let's just start a breathing exchange with Mother Earth. In through your nose and allow her energy to come up through your feet. And then as we exhale, sending her anything that you don't need or want right now. And that could be the anxiety of the day, the nervous energy, the where you're going to be, the where you were before you got here. None of that matters because we're tapping in to the present moment of now, which is where your power is when you're in your presence. So we're going to pull in through that energy through your feet. And as we exhale, let go. Mother Earth is the original recycler. Let her have what we don't need anymore. In through the nose again. Bring up that beautiful energy from her. And then exhale again. And we're going to allow that energy and that program to just keep running. And we're going to let the beauty of that energy to come up through your legs, into your hips, and gather in your pelvic bowl, the area between your hips and below your belly button, where you would carry a baby if you were pregnant. It's where our creative power center is. So we're going to let that beautiful Gaia, Mother Earth, electromagnetic energy to gather there. And I see it kind of as a silvery cord that's bringing this energy up both of my legs. And then it starts to fill up my vessel, my bowl, my inner being. And while that's happening, I'm going to ask you to tune in to the moon who is closest to Mother Earth than it's going to be for a while, because this is the end of the supermoon triad. And we just want to bring in that beautiful, feminine, silvery, bright energy that she is, and let that fill our pelvic bowl as well, through the front, through our belly button, and through the back, through our sacrum. So as we continue breathing, allowing those ports to be open and the energy to fill us. And then while that's happening, keep breathing deeply. Let your shoulders fall down onto your back and expand your heart space, really opening wide, allowing your shoulders to set back onto your back. Feel your back and feel your breasts being opened wide. And now, into that beautiful heart space, we're going to call the sun's energy. The bright, beautiful fire of the sun. And as that sun fills your heart space, you can take your hands and you can actually draw a heart on your heart space. You can let that heart draw down all the way into your womb space, or you can do a figure 8 with your hand where you're making a large number 8 that's attaching and collecting that energy from your pelvic bowl up through your heart. Fill that up. Fill your heart space up. Fill your pelvic bowl up with you. This is your energy. And the last thing I'm going to ask you to do is to call back all of your energy from any relationships, from anybody that's carrying you part of your heart. You can always tap in and track them later and be attached to them. But right now, let's pull that energy all back into you. And just breathe that in and allow it to settle, because it's yours. It's who you are. This is you, your love, your body, your soul, and your mind. And as we go up, we're going to travel up through the center of your forehead and allow that space between your eyebrows to open fully. And it's almost like you have a latch that's right here between your eyes, and we're going to unlatch that and unhinge the whole top of your head, which opens the top of our head completely to the stars in the heavens above. And we're going to pull down the star energy, the angel energy, the unformed energy of the cosmos that's constantly creating new star nurseries. That creative energy is what we want to tap into as we want to become more and more in tune with being the best and biggest and brightest version of ourselves. We don't know how that's going to look, so we're just going to be open and allow that energy to fall down upon us, almost like you're in a shower of gentle, beautiful, sparkly star seeds falling into your head. And allow them to be like snowflakes falling softly through your body and filling you up. And breathe that in. That is also us. It is also only ours. So now we have earth and fire and watery moon energy and sparkly air energy. We have our mind, our body, our heart, and soul. And we have called all of the elements into us. And we are tapped in. And all we need to do now is breathe in all of that energy. And as we exhale, allow it to shine out from you. And it's going to shine out to the edge of that aura space, the edge of your energy body, which is, remember, an arm's length out in each direction. Okay, and just allow that. Feel your hands. If you push them out, allow that energy to go out from you. And you can play with it. You can try to send it out to the corners of the room. You know, the old, beautiful Buddhist prayer, may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and serene. May I be happy. You start here, and then it's may we be filled. And you can send it all the way around your home. You can send that energy all around the planet. But it starts with your inner fire and your water and your earth and your air that is you. So if you want to open your eyes gently and join me, I would love to hear whoever would like to unmute themselves and join in. Tell me, how are you? Where are you? And how was that exercise for you?
Thank you, Deborah. I really needed that. I had a really rough morning. And it helped ground me once again and bring me back to center.
Yeah.
And helped clear my mind to accept new feelings for the day and release the ones that have brought me anxiety. So I thank you.
You're welcome. How is your heart? Do you feel more capable of loving others from this place?
I don't think anything's really kept me from loving others. I think it's always been keeping others from loving me.
Ah, with an energetic, like pushing
Hmm.
them away thing, or
Correct. Yes.
interesting. How
Yep.
is that boundary at this point? Because I'm wanting to show you how we can create that energy around us. And then I'm going to also show you how to create a boundary around it that allows you to stay within, but also be magnetic to other energy. Would that be helpful?
Yes, please.
Okay. And
Yes.
I don't know who the other people are on the call. If you want to share, I'd love to hear one more comment before I go further. Anybody in a position to share? Okay. All right. Well, I will. I want to go into a little bit more about what self-love is, and one of the things that we want in self-care is to have very clear boundaries. We know that when we overgive, it's exhausting. We also know when we are not watching our boundaries, how we feel resentful and even violated. My daughter shared that with me recently about how, do you remember when you used to walk into my room? And she is a sensitive person. And when I actually crossed that threshold into her bedroom, she felt like I was in her space. One of the things that I had to learn with her is when I managed my boundaries really clearly, she felt safe to come and talk to me. And I didn't even have to go in and talk to her. It was very interesting. And it was a hard thing to learn, especially between mothers and daughters or between people that we love, because we want to reach out to them. And sometimes our energy is a little grabby. Think about a sales call that you've been on, or you've seen a commercial where you've heard someone touting this product and they're kind of like throwing it at you and you're not interested in that product and it feels awkward. We've also seen people do a really bad job of sales or speaking from stage when they're very full of themselves and they're like pushing this on you. It feels like you want to back away. It's repelling. It's not magnetic. What we want to learn is how to really be clear with our energy and our energy boundaries so that we are coming from a place of magnetism. Yes, we're radiating, but it's a soft, almost like a moon kind of energy, right? It's not glaring. It's not like a spotlight that's offensive and shining in the eyes of the person, almost like they're under inquisition. I used to be good at that because I love to put people on the spot and ask them questions. It's not really a very healthy thing to do, but it gave me control and power. So I'm learning these things, or I have learned them in the last, all my life, but especially in the last 10 years. So I can see, I know what it feels like now when I do some of those old patterns and practices. So part of self-care, besides eating well and moving and the taking a spiritual break, whether that be meditating or being in nature or going to church, each of those ways of self-care are extremely important. And if you can think about what we were talking about earlier with the earth, the moon, the sun, and the stars, and fire and water and earth and air, and our mind, our body, our soul, and our heart. Each of those different things could use self-care. Each part of us needs self-care. So every day, what can you do to expand your heart and love yourself even more? What is it you could do every day to feel really calm and focused? Is it a 2-minute meditation? Is it a 30-minute meditation? Is it going to yoga at the end of the day? Is it, each of the pieces, we're a part, each of those is a part of us, and we need to and it's all actually included. It's all part of the eternity symbol, So how can we honor all of this energy? Because when it's all pulled together, it's woven together And Tantra is another word for that, where you're weaving together this into your lifestyle. So it's not just I'm doing this because I said I would do this and it's a goal of mine for 2018. No, it's how I live my life now. And that's where we want to go, so that we're operating from a self-love perspective versus doing it because it's on our to-do list. The other thing is around self-fulfillment. And I really want to know what you guys do for self-fulfillment. Do you really bring yourself joy? Is the work that you're doing in the world allowing you to play in your self-love and your self-authoring and your self-pleasure? Because when we're in creative, expansive, doing our stuff in the world, it feels so yummy. It feels so good. And this is where we want to be more and more and more. So the making a list, if you have paper and pen with you, I just want to play this game with you. If you were to write down fire, earth, water, and air, and underneath each of those, the fire, what brings me joy, what makes me light up with love. Is it holding my pet? Is it just feeling the memory of my daughter when she was born? Is it just holding in my heart something that brings me so joy, like the absolute joy of a certain vacation where I got to, play in this amazing saltwater bath. Whatever it is, it's just like that energy brings our energy up. And people can see it when we're shining from that place. Then earth. What plants feed me? Do I want to have more salads? Do I want to eat a piece of fruit that just makes my mouth be so delighted? This earth and this pleasure thing that our body wants more of this, or my body is craving moving in a dancing way right now. There's a lot of energy being released right now in terms of our kundalini and all of our energy centers lighting up. And I want to dance with that. I want to play with that. So my body is craving that. The other thing my body really loves right now, because it's cold, is warm or hot drinks. Beautiful teas in the afternoon that smell good and make my mouth light up. That is a pleasure of giving that to ourselves that is truly self-love. And water. We couldn't be alive without water. Water is not only important for us to drink, but it has a lot to do with our emotions. Are we in flow? Are we stuck? Are we acting out of integrity because we're leaking energy in one relationship or another? Where do we need to be fully in and allow that moon emotional water energy to flow in our body? And you can typically, if you get to the point where you're sensitive enough, you can feel it in your body. You can close your eyes and ask, where am I not in flow? Where am I stuck? And you can learn, or you can work with a partner or a healer to help you support with that. This is the perfect time at this moon and this eclipse and this supermoon and blue moon to release as much as you can. Journal about it, ask questions, and write it out so that you can burn it tonight or in the morning. And air. Not only is breathing a huge, I don't even know how to describe it, but remembering to slow down and consciously breathe in, the support from all around us, and exhale, whatever it is we don't need anymore, that is really key. What else air has to do with is our mind, being open and supportive of what else is coming. What else do I need to learn? How can I expand and grow? So each of these has, if we could write out what would allow us to feel even more self-love, and then give that to ourselves today. every day, not just in the month of February, not just for the full moon, but get into the practice of loving yourself every day. Because when we do this, we're modeling it for others. We're giving permission to others. And we're also really safe places for others to be with us. And I'm going to get back to your question you said earlier, Carmen. Thank you for asking that about allowing others in and what feels safe and unsafe. Imagine that once we are filled, our vessel, our pelvic bowl is filled with this cauldron of beautiful fire, earth, air, and water, all of that energy. And I actually see it being sparkly gold and silvery, all tied up together in this. And then it's like a magic potion that when we throw in our intention, it lights the whole thing up. That is our power. So we take that and we fill our body with it. And then when we put our air energy out around us, it's clean and it's clear and it's ours. And we have a choice at the edge of this energy field, who comes in and who doesn't. And we'll know what feels good in our system, come in. What doesn't, So literally, we know intuitively when we back up, when somebody's in our space that doesn't feel good, we will back up. Play with that. Play with what food feels good and which I want to push away. Play with, you can actually be a body pendulum and stand flat on the floor and say, is this good for me? And see if you lean forward or lean back. You can ask yourself questions. You can write them out in a note and put it in your heart like this. Is this good for me? Practice upping your intuition. Practice being your own author. Practice being your own inner wise woman. That trust really amplifies your self-love and your self-care. And before we close, I want to just allow you to be aware of what that boundary feels like. Play with someone that you know and love and turn up your energy really big and loud, like you're turning up the volume of your light and your energy. And then just like almost like you're invading their space, and see what they do. Ask them what they feel. And then pull it all in and just be here and ask what they feel. It really is amazing to do this with a partner who's in tune and intuitive and energetically aware, because they'll feel in their system, I'm drawn to you, I'm repelled by you. And the more we understand, when we fill ourselves up with our own energy, we are powerful. People don't mess with us. They respect us. They'll see us in a new light. And it feels good in our system. And the other key, this is key, is that when we are connected up and down, we don't have to manufacture all that extra energy ourselves. We're tapped in, we're tuned in, we're turned on, and it's just like the energy is in flow. We don't have to do it. I mean, we have to agree and be in the flow and step into it, but it's not like it's something that we have to push and force and make happen. So I want to take a few minutes and let you know, and if you stay until the very end of this conversation, which will be in 6 minutes or less, I will put you in the lottery to win a 30-minute coaching session with me. The other thing is, everybody that stays until the end will be offered $50 off of my upcoming Shine series. I'm going to take you through an exploration and a deep dive, besides an assessment, a real mind candy kind of thing, about what your strengths are. What are your unique talents and gifts? And when you know your top 5, you're really clear to, thanks, Carmen, you're really going to be clear on how to talk about them to others. But first you have to not only know them, but you have to own them. And the next step that you would take is, how do you aim these? You name them, claim them, and aim them. How are you going to be more of yourself and do your great work in the world coming from these places of strength? It's pretty powerful stuff. So that's the first class, and they build upon each other. And I am doing them all in a 3-class package because I found that when you do them one off, you don't get the cohesiveness and the power and the synergy of when they all get woven together. The second one is around shining with your passion and purpose. And we move from this place into your heart space and really are coming from a place of powerful vision, powerful passion, your purpose, your pleasure, all of that will come into one space then. And that's the second class. The third class has to do with your presence, and it's your body. It's your energy body and your physical body. And shining with presence is critical for anyone who wants to get out there and do big stuff in the world, because people are going to be looking at you, and you need to know how to manage this in full equanimity so that you're being perceived, seen, heard, valued, and respected as the amazing soul that you are. It's a great tool to help you get out of self-doubt and confusion and the comparison game and all of that, because you've got your own space of presence. And each of these builds on each other. So it's a mind, body, heart, and soul kind of thing. And then if you're interested at all, I'm going to be doing a 7-month integration with the Authentic Leadership Academy, but that's down the road. If you are, I need to know who you are. So if you can type your name into the chat box, do you see the little bubble at the bottom? And let me know who you are and your email so I can let you know when you're entered into the drawing. And also make sure I track you to give you the coupon code to sign up for the courses. That would be great. Oh, and the one other thing I wanted to share with you is I'm doing it 2 ways this time. If this format feels good to you, then you may want to do this on a virtual basis. I'm going to be doing each class, the mind, heart, and body, all in person and virtually. So there's a different schedule for each one, but they're all during the month of February. And it's what a beautiful investment in self-care and self-authoring and self-fulfillment and self-pleasure than to give you this gift for yourself. I don't know, might be better than roses or chocolate or a nice bottle of wine. It's up to you. So I want to just know if there's any questions. We have 2 minutes left. I'm happy to answer anything if something comes up for you that you'd like to know more about any of the practices we did. Oh, and if you know anyone that would love to know this information, I'm doing this exact same call. Well, none of my work is ever exactly the same. On Thursday morning, the 1st of February, 8 to 9 a.m. Central. So I'm going to be presenting this introduction to shining with self-love again. And I would love for any of your friends, family, whoever you feel inspired to invite to come to this. I would love to have them in the room with me, the Zoom room. So any other questions? Okay. Well, I want to let you know that this has been one of the best self-care things I can do today, because it's my way of shining. And I absolutely adore having these conversations with you. And I look forward to speaking with you again sometime soon. To each of you, thanks so much for being a part of my day. And to you, I deeply bow. Bye-bye. Thank you.